Today I'm going to be talking about your assignment, the software development lifecycle. This is a group project. I kind of turned it into a group project. It was always originally in the curriculum, but I kind of added a little bit more to it once the school district came to me and asked. Right here, you'll read if I have any students that are interested in this congressional app challenge. So this isn't part of the assignment, but whatever you submit for the assignment, if you wanted to elaborate it and actually make a real app on this, we can enter it in the Congressional App Challenge. So if you're interested in that, just see me. Otherwise, I'm going to talk about what the assignment actually entails. But also, if you want, there's a little 1 to 2 minute video on the Congressional App Challenge right there. But what we're going to be doing here is for this assignment, you're going to think about a real world problem that you want to solve. So it can be anything. Like for my example, I'm going to be doing a hall pass, here at Liberty High School, because I think the current system can be better. So right here, working in groups, you are going to research a real world issue, can be here at school or outside of school, and you're going to develop a software development lifecycle plan and submit it when finished. So let's take a look at that. First thing we're going to do is check out some slides. So you guys can go through these slides. I have videos that talk a little bit about it's 6 steps that we talk about in this video. I believe they have 7 or 8. They kind of split some of these, but they're pretty much the same information. But let's go here. So we have our 6 steps here, and I talk about them all throughout the project. Everywhere you see them, I also put in these little descriptions. So right here, you have the planning phase, which you're going to choose personnel. And normally you set a schedule and budget, you perform other project planning tasks here. So basically the timeline, how long is going to take for this software to be developed, 18 months, 24 months. And then the second step here, we're going to analyze. We're going to understand the problem, determine the goals, the requirements, and stuff like that. Third phase is the design phase. We're going to design the graphics. So in this assignment, you're going to be in the design phase, you're going to be designing the graphics, maybe a storyboard, something. So kind of like what it looks like. If you're going to create a phone app, then you can either use, I give you guys a link to code.org. So we're going to go over the template, or you can use Google Drawings and kind of draw it. Or if you want in class or at home or wherever you're working on it, if you want to just draw a picture, but we need a visual in this. I want to see what it looks like. If it's something that's not an app, maybe give me a storyboard. Some students mentioned an autonomous car. They want to make it better. Well, storyboard how the current problem is. You see in the news, autonomous cars are crashing or something like that. Well, you're going to develop something a little bit better that will not allow the driver to jump in the back seat while the car is driving or something. It's something, however you guys want to solve it. But you guys have to lay it out in a storyboard, which is kind of like a comic strip. Next, you're going to do the develop phase. So, and in the develop phase, you determine the coding architecture, develop programs, apps. We're not going to actually be coding and stuff like this. You're just going to talk about it. Step 5 is implementation and testing. And then step 6 is monitoring, evaluating, and marketing. I'll go over these a little bit more in detail on the template, but let's look right here. So we have phase 1, which is the plan. So it talks about it. This is all on your assignment. So I don't need to go over these in great detail because I don't want this video to be too long, but it talks about every single phase. If you need to know a little bit more, and if you need to know what types of participants are in each phase. So you can use this if you want to on phase 1, the planning phase, if you want to give titles to whatever students are doing what part. So you'll see when we get to the template, but this is a good resource to use if you're still not familiar or you still don't understand the assignment. So let's go back here. So in order to accomplish the assignment, 1, the student will make a copy of this template, provided the Google Doc, not the Google slide. Make sure that the students, make sure whoever selects this and makes a copy is going to be here for the entire project. Nothing's worse than having someone make a copy and then they're absent the next day. Share it with the remaining members of the groups. Take some time to think about real world problems. You can research them. And then you're going to create the plan. You're going to fill this out. You're going to submit it. The owner will actually submit the file, and the remaining members will submit a link. So I'm going to show you that in a second. And make sure you mark this as done. So let's take a look at this template. Also, if you guys aren't sure, there's past winners of the Congressional app. So if you wanted to see any past winners, we can just click here, look at whatever year, and then you can see some of the stuff. If you wanted to solve a real world problem, and you're not sure about it, you might look at these and see what these people came up with, and then you can just make something your own. Grocery Buddies, Food for All, Learn to Grow, things like, there's some good little real world problems here. Let's jump to this template. Okay, so this template's all laid out for you. So the first thing you're going to do here is you're going to make a copy. Okay, and so instead of it saying copy, you might put, period, I don't know, let's go P1, and I'm just going to put my name. And I'm going to get rid of the word template because it's no longer a template anymore. We're actually doing it. So there's my copy. I'm going to say, okay. Now I'm going to go under share. I'm going to share it with all the members in my group, so whoever it is, and then click done. And then now all of you can jump in and work on it. So the first thing I'm going to do here is the planning phase. So I'm going to type in my name. And you can either give yourself a job title like you saw in the slides, like here, like since I'm going to be doing the planning and analysis phase, I'm going to give myself the business analyst title, Okay, and then I'm going to say student one, maybe they're going to do the design phase. So, or maybe we have two students doing design, but one of them is going to be the architect, and then we'll have student two. I'm going to only have one student do it. That way we don't have conflicting designs. And then develop, like what type of apps. So maybe they can research apps, but we'll call, student two the developer. And then student three we'll call the tester or something like that. That's kind of get it. But you can also, if you want, if you didn't want to give if you don't want to give your names titles, you could also do something like, I'm going to do phase 1 and 2. This one is going to do phase 3. We'll do phase 4. And then this one can do phase 5 and 6. Okay, you can do either way, just so I know. That way when I look, I'll know who to talk to, like planning and analyzing. If I have any questions, I'm going to run to Mr. Kitsero. Design phase, I'm going to run to student 1. Develop phase, I'm going to run to student 2. And then the implementation and maintenance, I'm going to run to student here. I'll have 2 of these guys tackle 5. Okay, something like that. So that's all we want for planning. It's pretty easy. I know their assignments. This one we're going to be in for a little bit longer. So we're going to think of a real world solution. So I'm going to say our problem is the current hall pass system here at Liberty High School can be better. Currently, students have to write their names on a hall pass and provide some more information. They then put the time they left and the time they returned. Some teachers are not making sure it's filled out correctly, so the process can be more streamlined. Okay, something like that. So that's the problem, you know. And then I'm very like meticulous, so I'll say the problem, and then I'm going to highlight and underline it, and then I'm going to say the solution. Create a mobile or Chromebook app where the students can enter their information and just click a button for when they leave. Here we can say the student or teacher can enter their information to just click a button for when they leave. They will then click a button upon their return. The campus supervisors can see this information on their version of the app. Okay, so that's, and you can go back and fix any typos. But here I want to keep it within 100 words or around there. So I'm just going to do a word count on what I selected, and I have 106 words. So what I did here was I highlighted what I put in the box. I go under tools and I do a word count. Okay, I have 106. That's fine. I'm good. And then here we're going to design it. So I give you guys some things you can do here. You can either go to core.org and go to the app builder, or you can use Google Drawings. So I'm going to spend a little time on this. So I'm going to try out the App Lab. It's an untitled one. Let me see if I can go to my projects and show you, just so that way I don't have to. Let me get rid of some of these. Delete. And let's look at my hall pass. So you can see here, this is my student or teacher version. So student name, what period, where they're going, time out, and then time in. And then here, since we're not making a running version of it, we're just showing an example. I give a little down here. I took one of, under design, I took one of these little text areas and I wrote here, a real-time clock will be here that will record the time when the student clicks time out and time in. It'll calculate the total time as well. So that way what happens is on the supervisor screen, they don't have to really do anything. This chart represents a table of all the students who are out on the hall pass and the amount of time they've been out. So that way, if Johnny has been out on the hall pass for 14 minutes and a campus supervisor says, hey, you know, where are you going or something like that, and then they just have to look on here and say, or they can just say, hey, what's your name? And then, you know, Johnny, whatever, well, you've been out for 15 minutes, you know, get back to class, you know, and it only says you're going to the restroom and you're nowhere near the restroom. So, you know, so that's kind of it. And how I did this was, let me grab another screen here. So I have screen 3. You can just drag and drop buttons, you know. So what do you want to title this button? I'm just going to say hello for now. You can do drop downs, and then you can just add the options here. Me, you, them, you know, and then you can see when you run it. Let's go to screen 3. Let me see. I guess you can't run, you know, but here, if you wanted to see what the drop down looks like, let me run and show you the drop down on the first one. So there's all my drop down options. Here's some right here. you know, so, and then time out, time in. So you can see like it records the time. This is in Julian time, so you'll have to do something to change it to a date, but that's all in the programming. You don't really want, you know, so let me reset it. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to take a screenshot. I have this snipping tool I like to use. So I'm just going to do selected area. I'm just going to grab this. You guys can use shortcut keys, whatever you use to create. So I'm just going to copy this image, go to my template. I'm just going to paste that image in here. I'm going to resize it. We learned how to do that in previous assignments. I'm going to resize it, and then I'm going to go grab the other one. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go to selected area. I'm going to grab this guy. And then I'm going to go here. I'm going to resize it. And then you can see here, I'll just go, I'm going to insert a row below, and then I'm going to split it. Let's go insert column to the right. Nope, I'm not going to do that because then it does everything. Okay, so I guess it doesn't allow me to split. Okay, whatever. So here, let me go back to here, and I'll just go student / teacher view, and then oops. And then I'll go way over here and say campus supervisor view. Something like that. You know, just so that way when I look at it, you know, I get to see, okay, that's what it looks like. That's cool. Next, we're going to go to develop. Okay, so let's see. This is going to be a long video. So let's just take a look. 17 minutes, not too bad. So this thing, you're just going to talk about coding. This app will coded in Swift for the iOS, which is iPhone / iPad. We'll say Kotlin for Android and JavaScript for Chromebooks. The app will connect to a database where the information can be stored and later retrieved for reporting purposes, such as student history, something like that. You know, something that just tells me, you know, kind of like how we're going to develop the app. You know, something along that line. Implementation and testing. How are we going to launch it? I would do a beta test to the students of my classes, because then and easily get feedback and make any changes. I would also create a Discord server that students can connect to and ask questions and give me, you know, Discord, I don't know, you can pick anything. And then I would also create a frequently asked questions website that can answer any repeated questions. I would then roll it out to the entire school and have here. So we'll call this an alpha test and have a beta test run before we deploy it to the district and beyond, including app. So then maybe we can have it, maybe we can sell it, or something. So maintenance, using the Discord server and a Google form. I can collect bug and have a feedback thread where I can address any issues. Where I can address any issues and create updated versions of the software. Something like that. So that's kind of like the gist of the whole project. So it's not, it's not that hard. It's just you guys need to. I want you guys to think of a real world problem and kind of create a design that would fix that problem. So there's no programming involved. I just want you guys to go through the steps. So that's it. That is the software development lifecycle project in a nutshell. Have a wonderful day.